Welcome to Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O. I know Johnny's a little sad today because his buddy Jeremy Phillips couldn't make it to be here and stuck with little old me, but I understand it. He's a good-looking guy.
It's good to have you back, Jared. We missed you immensely last week, man.
Yes, traveling last week. No, y'all did a great job. Y'all did a really good job. So we'll have our NFL Power 5. I still think we have the NFL figured out. It's still crazy this late into the season. We'll talk about our Super Bowl pick right now, who we think for sure is a lock to win the Super Bowl, our thoughts on Phillip Rivers, and another player you'd like to see come out of retirement. Could that be any sport? I don't know, maybe just the NFL. But first, our title sponsor is Jeremy Phillips, former NFL players, been a guest host on the show, 7, 8 times now. He's great. And with Elite Performance Chiropractic, get you feeling better than ever, all ages, all different types of situations and injuries. 2 locations, Greensboro and Winston-Salem. Elite Performance Chiropractic, also on social media and their website as well. All right, Johnny O, you do us the favor. You can do us the honors. Who would you have at number 5 for your Power 5?
All right, number 5. And again, like you said at the beginning of the show, no, there's nothing figured out right now. I mean, when I was going through them, I'm like, I don't know. It's tough to pick, and you're trying to be professional and trying to figure this out, but we won't know until the end of the year, to be honest with you. But my number 5 has jumped back into the Power 5 of Johnny O. The Buffalo Bills. Until Josh Allen goes down, they are one of the best teams in the NFL. And I mean, we just got to jump on his bandwagon, and he is one tough son of a gun. He just keeps going and going and going. And he has that James Cook behind him. So that's been helping, a little bit. But, he's still just with whatever receivers he has, and he pulls these games out. They beat New England. New England had them rattled in the first half. But Josh Allen, I think after midway through the second quarter, I think he had thrown for like 27 yards. It was just total domination by New England. Buffalo came back, completely dominated the second half. Josh Allen, the best football player in the National Football League, without a doubt, just led them to a big-time victory. Wonderful to watch. Great game. Watch the whole game. The Buffalo Bills at 10-4 and in second place in their division is my number 5 in my Power 5 this week.
Yeah, I have at number 5 the Patriots. They fell down. I had them, I think, at number 2 last time I was on. Number one, number 2, maybe number 2. And this is my concern. They're obviously the real deal. I mean, they move the ball with ease. Buffalo has a suspect defense. Rankings-wise, they're not bad, but they have these games where they give up 40 points, and it's just like, ugh. But you look at the rankings, yards, and points, they're kind of middle of the road for the most part. I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills. And the Patriots have played, 3 teams with the winning record, and Buffalo being 2 of those 3 teams twice, and they beat them the first time. And they blew a 21-point lead, but they looked totally shook and dominated once the comeback was on. The Patriots could not do anything. So, but still, they're a top 5 team. My whole concern's been that they've played a very easy schedule, and that might come up to haunt them. And I think they definitely need home field advantage in the playoffs to have a chance. So I have them at number 5. At number 4, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, I mean, that's a toss-up because New England is still, right there. So then that's a great pick for number 5. But go ahead with your number 4.
Number 4 is the Buffalo Bills, who've been out of my top 5 for a while. Wow. I got to go where they are now, and what wins championships. They say defense, but in the NFL now, if you have a quarterback that's otherworldly, that can really help you. And so that's why I have the Bills back in because they do have, like you said, a really good running game. I think they're the second best rushing team in the NFL. They might be number one. I was really surprised by that. Of course, I got to remember, Josh Allen has a lot of those yards as well with Cook. Their defense makes me worried. Like, you don't want to keep getting down 21 points to good teams. That's not a way to survive. But I really like Josh Allen. He did not deserve to be MVP last year, but he looks more like an MVP this year. And excited for that. I like him and Haley Steinfeld. I think they're good. They're like the Temu version of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Anyway, I have the Bills at number 4.
Well, no, just to mention what you just said, James Cook is the number 2 leading rusher in the league right now, okay, with 1,400 yards, just like 20-something yards behind number 1. And Josh Allen ran for almost 550 yards. So, yeah, that's the key right there. And you know what a running game does for teams. Running game and defense, we know what that does. That's Super Bowl. My number 4 is the Seattle. I mean, I didn't know what to do here, but I got them at number. I haven't really seen them play, but they're 11-3. Sam Darnold keeps doing, they barely beat Indianapolis and the old man this past weekend, so that had me questioning it. But man, they're still right there in the toughest division of the NFL. Their defense is only giving up 283 yards a game. They have 42 sacks, so they're a scary team to play, and they're only giving up 17 points a game. So back to your, defense and rushing and all that. Seattle's my number 4, and they got the Rams, Panthers, and San Francisco coming up. So they got a tough schedule, including the Panthers being that second game that they play, and that's in Carolina. That's going to be a good game. But Seattle's my number 4.
Interesting. I do have Seattle at number 3. And like you, I have not seen them play a lot. When I've seen them play, they've looked good. Sam Darnold's been fantastic. Like you said, their defense. No one's talking about Seattle. They're like the least talked about top 5 team in the NFL. Sam Darnold's proven now that, the Vikings should have kept him. And so Seattle's reaping the benefits of that. And also shows that how bad the Raiders, because Geno Smith had a decent season, before he went to the Raiders, and the Raiders are just like a dumpster fire. But that Seattle connection with Geno Smith and is he too old to be coaching now? But they've got a really bad roster. I know we're not talking about the Raiders. It just made me think about gosh, how bad are the Raiders? Because Geno Smith's a competent quarterback, but they look horrible. But Seattle's like a non-sexy top 5 team, although they do all the things you want a team to do to win.
Yeah, no, and they
all right. At number 2, I have the Denver Broncos.
Well, I haven't done a number 3 yet.
At number 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
You're all right. My number 3, and this one might bring out some question marks, I guess. Jacksonville Jaguars. They're on a little bit of a roll.
Ooh.
And our first show, when we predicted who was going to win the divisions and all that, if you remember, I picked the Jacksonville Jaguars way back right before week number 1. And they are starting to come through, and Trevor Lawrence is starting to quarterback like we thought he would quarterback. So the Jacksonville Jags are my number 3. That was a little frightening to put in there, but I kind of like them. They got Denver, Indianapolis, and Tennessee left on their schedule. They're going to win 2 out of 3 of those games, and don't be surprised if they Denver's got to lose a game here, and maybe it's going to be Jacksonville this weekend. But I got them at my number 3. They're 10-4. They're leading that division. They got Houston right behind them, and that I was kind of going back and forth with Houston or Jacksonville as my number 3, but I'm going to stick with Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville as my number 3.
Okay, not my top 5, but that might be my mistake. That's a team that people don't think about at all. But every time you look up on the scoreboard, you're like, oh, they're winning. They've had a great season, and Trevor Lawrence maybe finally having that season that people thought he would have. All right, at number 2, I already kind of let it out. The Denver Broncos. I'm not excited about them at all. I think the only people excited about the Broncos are Broncos fans. They're boring. They're a boring team to watch. A lot of 16, 13 games and 10, 7 games, and they've had a few shootouts. But I mean, Bo Nix is a young quarterback, and he's doing what you want him to do. He's winning, but I don't know. I just don't trust this team. I mean, I know a great defense, which they do have, can cover up a lot of things, but man, it's just one of those teams. I think if they got behind by points or more, they're done. And I don't trust them at all in the playoffs, the Denver Broncos.
I got them as my number 2 as well. I mean, they're 12-2, and they've come back on 10 of those games, I guess, 10 of their wins. I think they've had to come all the way back. Not excited about watching them. I'm with you on that one. I mean, they're winning, but Bo Nix, I give him credit. He's had his last 3 games, he's got nine touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So he's doing something right. Denver and their coach, I hope they don't stay up there, but it was hard for me not to put a 12-2 team as my number 2 team. So I'm going with Denver as well.
Right. All right. Do you want to do your
my number one? My number 1's the Rams. I'm sure. Is that your number 1 as well?
I have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. No, yeah, I have the Rams. I definitely have the Rams. Yeah,
they're the team. I mean, Puka. I mean, how about some of the catches he's been making? I mean, oh my gosh, and Stafford's still hot. They have Thursday night's game is going to be a great one. Okay, Seattle and the Rams. That's going to decide. Who the best is in the NFC, to this point. And again, all that can change in the playoffs. But and then the Rams after Seattle have Atlanta and Arizona. So that, they're going to roll over those 2 teams. But the Rams are the best. They're, they're everybody's pick right now. And offense and defense, special teams, they're numero uno on everybody's list.
Yeah, you have them. They're second in the NFL total yards per game. They're scoring 30 points per game. Second NFL in passing yards, top 10 in rushing offense, and then their defense is third best in the NFL when it comes to points per game. That's a recipe for a winning team. And Matthew Stafford, MVP probably this year if he stays healthy the rest of the year, which looks like he will. All right. So yeah, I agree. The Rams are the number 1 team in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we go on to our next segment, which is who are we going to pick? Who would our pick be right now? 100% pick. Let's mention who's sponsoring this segment here. Estate Jewelry and Loan, something old, something new. Estate Jewelry has a great selection of new and estate jewelry, and you can really find a nice, unique piece for any occasion. Brian's showroom is beautiful and has lots to choose from. You can find Estate Jewelry at 2511 Battleground Ave, and also go online to estatejewelryloan.com to find out what you can do and where you can find them. Also, Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill, located in High Point at the Palladium and in Greensboro in the Target Shopping Center in New Garden. It's got food truck, catering, daily specials. You can go there and tell them that Jared and I have sent you to just let Miguel know that we sent you. And you can also go to salsaritas.com to check out their menu.
Excellent. All right. So, Johnny O, who's your lock? Who's your lock? Your Super Bowl pick right now?
And I'm talking about a 100%er. It's the Rams right now. I mean, I don't know what other team to say and not to say, but it's the Rams. If they stay exactly the way they are right now, and they're hungry, that's a hungry team because they had a hell of a team last year and they thought maybe they could move on. But it's the Rams. What's yours?
Yeah, I hate to be lack of debate here, but as of right now, yeah, the Rams to me, if I was going to put any money on it, would be the team to beat. I think the NFC, and the NFC is better this year overall. It seems like the AFC has these teams that are good, but you don't really trust their offenses, and I definitely trust the offense of Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, and a little worried about Devontae Adams. Looks like he was banged up a little bit, but no, I mean the Rams. I mean, my money would be on them. I mean, if I had to pick an AFC team, I would probably pick, surprisingly so, the Buffalo Bills. But if I'm picking just the team to win the Super Bowl, would be the Rams.
And part of this segment is on the other side.
You might see Rams Buffalo Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, that would be a good one. Now, on the other side of the coin here, what would be the absolute and someone in the playoff race right now, who would be the absolute surprise winner of the Super Bowl that could go all the way and it would just blow your mind? Like, are you kidding me? How did they do it? What would that team be?
That's a great question. I kind of said the Bills are the first that come to mind, but a team that I think would surprise people because nobody's talking about them at all is a team that people talked about a lot in the past is the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they just keep winning and no one cares. Yep. If it's Mac Jones' quarterback or Brock Purdy's quarterback, they're just flat out winning. They're quietly healthy. No one's talking about the 49ers. I think we could look at the end of the year and they win the Super Bowl and we're like, where are all the pundits on them? No one's talking about them. I think maybe because Brock Purdy was out for a while. But, the 49ers. What about you?
No, I like that one. This one would be just an absolute surprise. I looked at all the teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers? Okay. I mean, and I'm talking surprise, like what the hell happened, But I'm anti-Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like the guy. But I watched him last night, and, with all this stuff they've been saying against Tomlin and, he should be going somewhere else and all that, look out for that team. And Aaron Rodgers looked really good last night. I mean, he looked comfortable. He looked, it was a bunch of short passes, but he was, that's what's wrong with that. It was a well-played football game by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that would be the surprise of the century if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be my crazy one.
I would actually love that as a story. I would love that. I think the NFL would love it. They don't need buzz for the Super Bowl, but that'd be something else for sure.
That would be. That'd be a great
So you want to thank some of our other sponsors real quick before we go on?
Yeah.
To our next segment.
Again, For Real 24. That's the Real Golf, the indoor golf over here on Horsepen Creek Road. It's real golf indoors anytime. Greensboro's premier 24/7 indoor golf facility offering iconic golf courses and state-of-the-art equipment. Their dynamic hitting area has a moving floor, ball retrieval, auto tee that it tees it up for you, multi-surface turf simulating fairways, deep rough, and even bunkers inside. Check out forreal24.com for more details. He is open, and go see Clay Jordan. Please tell him that we sent you. I did go over there and hit some balls a couple times last week. It is extraordinary, man. I mean, it's pretty wild. You and I got to get over there. I think you'll enjoy it, and you can just hit off you can use a driving range, or we played Pebble Beach for 9 holes. It was crazy, man. So please go check him out. It's called 4Real24 Real Golf.
That's awesome.
And our newest sponsor, California Burritos Express and Bar, offering a full bar with margaritas and draft beer and serving very generous portions of Mexican food in a spacious, casual setting with multiple TVs. Popular items include the California Burrito and Birria Pizza, ACP and tacos, quesadillas, and breakfast burritos located on Spring Garden Street. Go see Marco and please tell him we sent you. You can order through them. Again, it's California Burritos Express. You can order through DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. And let me tell you something. Marco was an avid listener of the Jared and Katie show back when he had his other job, and he would listen to you guys every morning. So when I mentioned you, his eyes lit up. He said, man, that guy does a hell of a job on the radio.
And you're like, no, he doesn't. No, I appreciate that. It's really cool. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. All right. You want to be a part of the podcast? We have great sponsors. Send us a message on all the social media platforms. Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O. Okay, let's talk Philip Rivers. I don't know why I can't be more excited about this story. I love the fact that Philip Rivers, after 5 years of not playing in the NFL, and he didn't retire young. He retired at 39. And they're like, you want to play this Sunday? And he goes in, has to learn the playbook, has to learn. I mean, he probably can't name half the players on the team.
Yep.
And he goes and plays an NFL game. If I'm out of work for 7 days or 2 weeks for during the holidays, I can't remember my password to my email, let alone go in and play in the NFL game. It's insane to me. I love the story. I hope they make it to the
no, I'm with you. And it's a great story. And Philip Rivers has always been, just a good guy too, and I mean, 10 kids, a grandkid. I mean, he's a different type guy. But 1 week of practice, Jared, this isn't, he wasn't just going in and out, playing a little bit of defense or blocking, or going in on third down. He's the quarterback, Jared. He went in and quarterbacked an NFL team to the lead. They were leading with 29 seconds left in the game, for crying out loud. And he almost beat Seattle, who's one of the best teams in the NFL. Absolute terrific story. Who he plays? I think he plays San Francisco this week. So he doesn't have an easy schedule here either, but I am rooting for him. One of the best stories ever. I just hope he stays healthy, finishes the season, and sneaks them into the playoffs. Would be the story of the decade. What do you think?
I love it. I love his post game where he said, got all these kids to help coach, that they can see, he said the easy thing to do is to not participate, is to not take a risk. And for him, and he's like, I wanted to be in here, and then, he's got 10 kids. He has, obviously grandkids. He has older kids too. He got 10 kids. But his younger kids haven't had a chance to see him play like this in the NFL. So that's really cool. And the dude was fired up, man. I don't think he threw a ball more than 20 yards. That, if you're a defense, you could probably sit on that for now. But just his enthusiasm for the game's infectious. And it's just like a crazy, like you were saying, you're not going in there to go play flag football, or you're not just going to, go play basketball at the Y or something like that. Or even the NFL, you're not going in to block a few times or, rush a few times. You're playing the hardest position in all sports. And he did throw the pick. But other than that, I mean, he looked good. He didn't make mistakes. And I don't know. If you didn't know, you're like, yeah, he's an NFL quarterback, that had skipped a beat.
and he looks good. He looks like he's in shape. Sometimes you think you'd get a little porky around the midsection or whatever, but he looked good in uniform. He looked like he belonged out there, and I was actually happy to see that. You didn't want to see anything different. So he wouldn't have came back if he didn't think he was capable of doing something. And of course the offense just kind of geared around what he could do. So that was fantastic. But well, who is the guy, or who would you love to see, as crazy as this, the Philip Rivers thing of being out of the game for 5 years? How about give me a player that you would just want to see come back and maybe make a statement, that he could still play? And let's stick with the NFL. Who would that be for you?
Now, this one is crazy, but if he didn't get touched, I think he could still do it, and he's in his 50s. I would love to see Steve Young play again. I loved watching Steve Young play. Yep. Lefty. At the time, he retired. He had the highest quarterback rating of all time for a career. He didn't make mistakes. And, I mean, he used to run the ball. He was freaking awesome. And today's NFL in his prime, Steve Young would be insane. But even now, I like to hit for one game. I would say for one game, a couple drives, Yep.
That would be amazing. I like that pick. I definitely like that pick. Here's mine. It's a little crazy, but I was thinking about who would I want to come back to help the Buffalo Bills, get over the hump. How about this one? Okay. Do you remember Megatron? Calvin Johnson, the big wide receiver for the Detroit Lions? Yep.
Oh, that's a good one.
He retired at 30 years old. Okay. He's 6'5", 240. He was a freak, man. He was just such a great wide receiver, but he pulled the Barry Sanders. He retired early and just didn't want to, go through a 20 years of NFL. But Calvin Johnson, can you imagine? He's only 40 years old right now. I mean, this man could come back, play for the Buffalo Bills, give Josh Allen that star wide receiver. And this guy was 83 touchdowns in 9 seasons. He averaged, this is just going to give you a little example. Puka Nacua, who I think is probably the best receiver in the league right now, he averages this season 16 yards per catch, which is just unbelievable. 16 yards per catch. Calvin Johnson career average was over 16 yards per catch. Puka Nacua's career is at about 12 yards per catch. So Calvin Johnson was just a freak all 9 seasons, and I would love for that guy, and he probably is still in great shape at 6'5", 240, and probably could, be a third down guy or, a second and long guy and put him on the Buffalo Bills, and we would see something sensational. So Calvin Johnson, the Megatron, would have been my guy.
I love that. If I could do an honorable mention, because I think he could still do it. Also a guy who retired way too young is Andrew Luck.
Yep.
Yeah. What was he, 28 when he retired? And now he's running Stanford football as the GM. He looks a lot older because of his hair issue, which I understand. But he could definitely, I mean, he's younger than Philip Rivers.
Yeah.
He's younger than Aaron Rodgers. He could do it. He definitely could do it.
Of course, you think of Tom Brady. He could probably still do it for whatever reason. Andrew Luck, I had him down as well, as a possibility. And Cam Newton, I mean, I used to love Cam Newton. I don't like him on TV now. He yaps too much, but that guy was a freak of nature, and he could probably come back and play some other position besides quarterback. But I like our picks. Definitely. Calvin Johnson and your pick are great.
I mean, Steve Young is like insane because I think is he almost 60? I don't even know how old Steve Young is, but gosh, I love watching him play. And then the way they protect the quarterback now, I think, gosh, him in his prime. I mean, we could do this a different show, but like think of Marino and Joe Montana and Steve Young all in their prime playing in an NFL that is so pass happy. The numbers would be outrageous, which, or the Randall Cunninghams, the Warren Moons put up huge numbers anyway. I can't imagine in this NFL.
No, I love that you said that, especially a Dan Marino, because back in like 83, I mean, he threw for 48 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards. I mean, that was his game. He was ahead of his time back then. And for those guys to be playing nowadays, oh my gosh, they'd just be sitting back there throwing bombs, man. Those were great quarterbacks.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate you being a part of the podcast. If you want to, again, follow us, we're on all social media platforms, all streaming platforms. And then if you want to do some advertising with us, we can help your business, small business, send a message and Johnny will get you hooked up on all social media platforms. Just DM us and we'll get you hooked up, and appreciate you listening.
All right. Great show, my man.
Overtime pay. We're talking the overtime play. The big stories, the big plays, the big drama. We got